Hey guys, it's me coming from my family's house, 012boku. Just got done celebrating an awesome birthday, and I was just here, wanted to tell you guys about another movie that I just recently watched that I have, and this is 012boku's movie review of Young Indiana Jones, Treasure of the Peacock's Eye. Now, Young Indiana Jones was a film series that George Lucas and Rick McCallum of LucasArts were producing, that they were going to do a backstory on Indiana Jones so they could have us be more in depth with the character, which was an interesting idea. I believe from the back of this guy here, it took place between the years of 92, 93, 94, 95, and I believe 96. And there were, I don't know, there may have been 12 or maybe a few more movies involved, but on this tape where it's the complete chapter, the complete adventures of Indiana Jones, it's chapter 18, so there were a few more Young Indiana Jones films before we got to, the actual other stuff that followed later. But Young Indiana Jones, Treasure of the Peacock's Eye is, as George Lucas put it within one of the special features of the movie, is basically the story of Indiana Jones in World War II. It had just ended, and he and a friend he's been along with in World War II, his name's Remy, they're going to go find this diamond of Alexander the Great, which is called the Eye of the Peacock, that they found on a dead soldier on the battlefield just right outside the trenches. And they go on this treasure hunt to find it and to see if they can get, rich beyond their wildest dreams. And, George Lucas basically says that this is the movie that sort of is like a catalyst to Indiana Jones getting into these type of adventures, even though he's had many before. But it's something that gives like the treasure hunting background kind of deal, which I can accept. And overall, this movie is really entertaining. Sean Patrick Flannery, who plays young Indiana Jones, is quite entertaining. He's quite good. He definitely seems to have the humor down and the character down as a young kid instead of this wisecracking mature adult that we know that Harrison Ford plays in the Indiana Jones movies. So, that part is really cool, I think, that we get to see that. And his friend, Remy, who's played by Ronnie Cotillard. Yeah, Ronnie Cotillard. Very good friend of Indy's, a Belgian character who helps him out on his adventures, who does many things with him, and is just, really cool to see these guys. Sorry guys, didn't mean to leave the screen, just getting some things, because I'm going to go to bed in a little bit after this, but, just, they go together, they do quite a lot of things, and they enjoy a lot of what they do on these adventures, and it's Remy who actually gets Indy to realize, maybe we should do this, let's get rich, help ourselves out, help our families out, we could do a lot for them. And there's also Adrian Edmondson, who plays the villain Zyke, who's a German on the battlefield who was originally going to go after the Eye of the Peacock. He's pretty good, convincing villain, pretty good actor. Jane Ashbourne plays a girl named Lily, who's a love foil interest for Indiana Jones in this movie, who's alright. I mean, this character for her may have not been her greatest, and I believe I've seen Jane Ashbourne in a few things, but she played an alright Lily. I mean, not the greatest, but I will probably say, not to throw Kate Capshaw under the bus, who played Willie, way better than the character of Willie. There's also, oh yes, Tom Courtenay, who plays the character of Malinowski later in the film, who's on this island of native Indians near China, I do believe, and he's basically like a wise character to help Indiana Jones figure out what he wants to do in life and on his journey. And Tom Cortene really played a mentoring role in this film pretty well, which is really nice to see. And I enjoyed his character of Bronislaw Malinowski quite well. And the whole film, ends up pretty well. Like, the whole treasure hunting aspect is really cool, having them, go up against several of these villains, like the people that Zyke was going to sell the diamond to, but there's a lot of double-crossing in this movie and things like that. Spoiler alert here for those of you who wouldn't mind seeing this movie if you do. But Lily actually is also after this diamond, and she tries double-crossing Remy and Indy, and there's a whole thing there. And that whole adventure part is really cool. There's a part in the middle of the movie with pirates and big smash action adventure, good fight scene between Sean Patrick Flannery and one of the stunt double actors that was done really well to perfection. You've got also the later half of the film, which is basically a discovery part for Indiana Jones, where he gets to learn about these native Indian cultures on these habited islands they go to, and he learns all about the cultures and things like that, which while Remy and Indiana Jones are looking for this diamond, they learn that, well, Indiana Jones, I should say, learns that there's a lot more to these cultures that he loves to learn and would like to learn, which is why he wants to go study to be an archaeologist. And I think that was a cool thing to see, that this was probably another push towards his future career that we see him do once the main four movies, which, when I get to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, mention some good things about it, but then I'll mention, not a lot of other good things about it, because that whole ending to me killed the fourth movie, but get to that another time. Other than that, action and story was pretty good in this movie. Pretty good acting, pretty solid acting for a type of young Indiana Jones film. Special effects were pretty good for its time, and some of it in this movie does look a little cheesy, but it's done really well. I liked the sets and the locations they chose. Still looks pretty beautiful, even though it's not a full budget type of film, these movies, and this one in particular, Young Indiana Jones Treasure of the Peacock's Eye, but stuff looks really well. It was handled well, and overall it's an interesting adventure movie. So if you're ever curious about the young Indiana Jones stuff there, just check these movies out. Let me know what you think about them. And you may end up liking them. There's like a whole DVD set of this now. I know this is the VHS tape you're looking at, but I have not gotten rid of any or all of my VHSs. I still own quite a lot of them, so I have a lot, and I still have this one. So if you'd like to see, Young Indiana Jones and Treasure of the Peacock's Eye, just let me know what you think of that movie, and once again, drop a line. This is 012boku, signing off again, guys, and have a great night.